Okay, hey guys, today we're going once again through all the revealed cards in OP04 so far. I will say that the last video did very well, so thank you guys for your support and continue to support the channel, comment what you think about the videos and subscribe. So, to start off with, like I said, I always go by order, so we got Usopp, he's a red uncommon, Alabaster Kingdom Straw Hat Crew. I very much like this card because the ability, as you guys can see, is when KO'd, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost, with an original power of 5,000 or less. So I think this is very good because it counters cards like Zoro. It can counter a lot of like early play cards basically, because essentially once you play Usopp, and especially with red, like if you think of like Vivi giving rush, like if you played this character and you attacked for 5k, you would want to get him off the board, but when you get him off the board you're also risking your own character. So it is a very good card. I think I'll definitely be trying it out. So next is Kung Fu Dugong. One cost, 1000 power, animal type, Alabaster Kingdom, and if you have Kung Fu Dugong in play other than this character gains blocker. So it's just a common, bit of a gimmick, I guess. I think it could work potentially, like if you think of like low cost Zoro, with you've got like one cost Atama, you've got Makino. If you were to use Curly Dudun, start searching for one cost blockers, then maybe, but it is hard because first off, it's not like Pacifistas. You can only have 4 of these in your deck, and you would have to get lucky to get more than one at once. But otherwise, yeah, I guess you could, maybe it's a set up something in the future. I know Animal has been a tag, but we haven't really used Animal as much yet, so maybe a chopper leader in the future can make use of this. Next, green. So we got Viola, green common, 3 cost, 3000 power, special, Don Quixote Pirates. So remember, 2k counter, and on your opponent's attack, rest up to one of your opponent's Don. It does cost 2 Don to use, so it works quite well with, I think, Don Quixote, who would give you active Don at the end. But it basically lets you, like if your opponent is keeping Don, or is like, you know, especially with, once again, like I'm thinking Zoro deck just goes the most meta deck out there. With Zoro, for example, you want to attack and not play all your characters at once. You like play it, attack, play it, attack. This will let you rest your opponent's Don, so they can't potentially do what they wanted to do. So yeah, I think that's quite good. Sugar, this card seems kind of cracked, which is, so she's one of the SRs. She's 2 cost, 0 power, but yeah, so her 2 abilities. On the opponent's turn, once per turn, when your opponent plays a character card, if your leader is of Don Quixote Pirates, rest up to one of your opponent's characters. So it's meant to work with Duffy, but basically, yeah, so if your opponent plays a character card, then you can rest one of your opponent's characters while also resting Sugar. But also her on-play ability is rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. So yeah, I think that is pretty much quite broken, because the way it would work is, first off, because she's 2 costs, you can play her quite early on. And it would mean that like if you played her early on and there was like your opponent had no characters on the board, they would have to spend Don to get rid of Sugar, or if they played a character, Sugar could almost immediately rest them. So I think while characters like Vista would counter, because Vista would be able to remove her before she did that, I do think it's quite a strong card. And late game as well, it can see play, because obviously you can rest a character with a cost of 4 or less, so you can counter blockers, etc. Like if you imagine this with like Fujitora, where you've given everyone -1 cost, and especially like Fujitora is green and black, and so like if you're manipulating cost, you could play her and perhaps rest someone like a blocker. So I think it is quite good, both for and against in certain decks. So yeah, next one is Apis. So blue common, 1 cost, 0 power, East blue. She's a searcher for East blue and a 2k counter. So I think quite a good card, Nami support. It is interesting that they're including filler characters. We said this last time as well with like Daddy Masterson. So now we've got Apis. So the fact that they're opening up to like filler characters that are non-movie is quite nice. So yeah, this will probably almost definitely see play. It's a 2k counter and a searcher, which is very good. And it's a card as well, not a character, so you can choose any card with the East blue type, so that's good. Then we got another look at SR quite recently actually. Kaido, he's the blue SR, 10 cost, 12,000 power, strike type, and his on-play ability is that you can return up to 1 character that costs 8 or less, or up to 1 character that costs 3 or less to the owner's hand, which is like, we'll see how it plays out. I think the fact that it's to the owner's hand isn't quite as good as like KOing them like the 10 cost Kaido, or like Mihawk that like bottom deck someone. To hand is, you know, debatable, but I think it still is good, and especially like depending on who you're using this with, could see some very good moves. I would probably include like 1 or 2 in certain decks, so that if you draw them, it's good. But we also, just to point out, with Kaido, we also got our first parallel look for this set, which is Parallel Kaido, as you can see here. Very nice card. You can see like the art is beautiful. It is a bit low quality, that's just because on Twitter they showed both of these cards in one image, and like the image quality was really low. But something interesting to point out is that you can see that above the SR, it wasn't here, but it is here, that there's a star. So it might be interesting that what they might be doing for parallels now is including stars. Maybe the manga parallel will be 2 stars or 3 stars, kind of like Battle Spirits and other games that they've done. Moving on, we've got Who's Who. He's a blue rare card, and 1 cost, 2,000 power, and his on play is an Animal Kingdom Pirates Searcher, which is also good, because obviously you can use this with like Queen. You can use this with Crocodile, the blue purple Crocodile, because you know you've now got searches, because it's not color limited. So if you were to use it with blue purple Kaido, you would also be able to search for purple Animal Kingdom Pirates types, which Animal Kingdoms is mostly so far. So I think this is quite good. And then we've got Gum Gum Red Rock, and I would say that this card is kind of cracked. You've got a blue rare, 6 cost, and its main ability is place up to 1 character at the bottom of its owner's deck. So obviously you've got the 4 cost Jet Pistol, and like I think this lets blue have that same ability. It's even better because Jet Pistol like KOs, and there are cards that bring back from like trash. This would just mean that it goes to the bottom of the owner's deck. Like they're not seeing that card again during play most likely. So yeah, that's it's a very cool card. You can bottom deck anyone that you want, and its trigger is just place up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less. So I think this is a very good card, especially like if you use this in tandem with certain leaders. Even though it's 6 cost, it would like you would be able to do some other things with your remaining 4 Don, or get some other things moving. Next, purple. So we got Yokozuna, 3 cost, 3000 power. He's a blocker, and on your opponent's attack, Don -1, you can return up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less to its owner's hand. So a lot of these, like, you can see that they're using cost, which I think is interesting. Like, manipulating costs, one of my problems with like red black Garp, for example, is that he manipulates cost very well, but there's not enough stuff that actually, enough cards that actually get rid of cost for him to be fully viable. But I'm glad that this set is doing that with other colors as well. So yeah, Don -1, return up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less to its owner's hand, which means that, you know, it kind of counters low cost meta a bit, which is currently running, and he's a blocker type, so it's good for survivability as well. And then we've got Mr. 2, Bong Clay. I'm missing a bracket there, but yeah, purple uncommon. He's the 69th card, which is nice. 3 cost, 4000 power, and his ability is on the opponent's attack in -1 Don. This character's original power, so 4000, becomes the attacking character or leader's power until the end of the turn, which I think is very like good. Basically, like you can use a Don to basically turn either the character attacking you to 4000 or the leader to 4000, which I think is quite good. It basically, like, either you let Don Bong Clay survive another go because you can make him, you know, the attacking character 4000 as well, and then you can use a 1k counter, or you can just like be like, oh, your leader's not attacking this turn. Especially like it says that becomes their power. I will the rules on, like, the rules haven't been released yet, but it would be interesting to see what they say regarding like the like stacked Dons, because like, for example, if like your leader already had Dons on him and he was 10k power, would it bring it down to 4k power, or is it only their original power? Because here it does say original power for here, but it doesn't say original power for that one. So yeah, could be very interesting, could see a lot of play, and we'll look forward to that. I'll do some deck, I will do some like potential deck lists closer to like when we get the full card list, which we should get in a few days anyway. And then next, this is a leak. I was very excited about this. As you guys know, I've been gassing this card up for a long time. We got our first look at Sabo, being the black SR, 5 cost, 6000 power. He does have a counter, although it's not like clearly visible here. I'm presuming it would be 1000. It wouldn't really make sense for him to be a 2k counter, although that would be nice. And he's a blocker type, and his on-play ability is that your characters cannot be KO'd by card effects until the start of your next turn, and then you can also draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards. And I think this is a very good ability because, first off, he's a blocker. Black can use blockers for, you know, surviving. He's a 6k blocker, which is even better, and card effects cannot KO this character, so Jet Pistol wouldn't work, and like, it's just yeah, like using like characters like if you were against Black and you were to bring his cost down, that wouldn't work. And it's not just him, he does it for all the characters on board, which I think is very good. And yeah, next is Bartholomew, black rare, another blocker, and he's a 2k counter. There's not much to say about this card, just that I like Bartholomew quite a lot, and I think this card is actually quite good. First off, it's 3 cost, and I think that's good because black, I think, doesn't like I've been, like I said, I've tried very much to make a proper Garp deck, Just because like the way I play the game is that I don't I will play Zoro if I absolutely had to in a tournament, but I like playing non-meta decks to see like what's like. I have more fun that way. I think one of the problems with black in other decks, like I play Smoker as well, is that black generally, from what I see, prefers to go second because it goes like 2, 4, 6 cost characters. Like you want to play Garp first go, whereas with this 3 cost is quite good. It means that you're like, even if you go first, you can play a 3 cost character. You've got a blocker and also 2k counters. I think is quite good. I've been needing 2k counters. So this is, in my opinion, quite a good card, even though it's quite simple. And then we also have Rebecca. She was shown, I think, yesterday. Another black rare card, 1 cost, 2000 power. And yeah, her on play is look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal a Dressrosa type card other than Rebecca, add it to your hand, then trash the remaining cards. Once again, could be very good. I think like if you play this with a like Rebecca leader deck, and where you're mostly going to be running Dressrosa type anyway, considering like the stage cards that you have, which I'll show. I think the stage card is next. There's a lot of like cards that have come out for Rebecca that rely on Dressrosa type, so I think you could run an almost pure Dressrosa or majority Dressrosa deck with Rebecca. And cards like this are very good. I mean, like I know people will be like, oh, you're trashing the remaining cards. Trashing cards in what I've seen in black, it doesn't matter too much. Because if we think of the SR Luffy, who brings back cards from trash, and even like some more cards that I'll show you guys later, you'll see that trashing cards isn't as important anymore. Like you don't have to worry that you've trashed a good card. So we've got the event, then we've got the stage. So the event, Gun Gun King Kong Gun, black uncommon 3 costs. I think this is a very good event because basically, choose 1 Dressrosa type character, power plus 6,000. So whoever you choose, they get plus 6,000 power. On top of that, if your trash has 15 or more cards, this character will gain double attack for the turn, which I think is a very, very good like card. You've got 6k plus 6k power and double attack, and it's a main as well, so you're using it during your attacking turn. And I think this, in like, especially because it is King Kong Gun, using this with that SR Luffy would be so like sick. Like you could like restand him as well, like in like, especially if you restand Luffy, that could be like 4 attacks. You could remove 4 lives in a go, essentially. Next, the stage, and I think the stage is one of the best stages that we've seen. Like Moby Dick got banned for being too OP. This might get banned eventually for being too OP. So, 1 cost, black stage. If your leader has the Dressrosa type, meaning only Rebecca can play it right now, your characters that have the Dressrosa type can attack characters on the turn they are played, which means that if you play this stage with Rebecca, any character that you play, any character that you have actually, like basically gains rush. Like they can't attack the leader, but they can attack characters, and what that means is that like you can clear boards so easily. And I think it's just a very strong card. Will probably definitely see a lot of usage. I personally am interested in this as someone who likes black cards. So black looks to be the current like meta. I think it's good because basically red has been dominating the meta almost. I think I think like red has been dominating the meta, and I think what this set is doing is balancing a lot of that and letting like a lot of cards, like a lot of colors see bigger potential, like blue, black. Every card has got significant buffs here, and I think that's good because you don't want a trading card game to be like so focused heavily on one deck. So more balance is better. It makes the game more playable. it makes it more open as well. Because like part of the struggle that I've been having is that like Rush Zoro, for example, a single Rush Zoro can cost like £20 right now. So like making a deck can be like a whole, like it could cost £100 to £200, which doesn't seem like a lot, but also for like a lay player, it's like it can be hard. So next up we have yellow. So you got Olin, yellow rare, 7 cost, 7,000 power, and obviously because it's Big Mom, this card is also treated as Charlotte Linley. And yeah, trigger is if you have one or less characters and one or less cards in your life area, you can play this card. So yeah, it's a decent card. You know, high power. It's a rare card as well. Quite useful for yellow. We've got beige, also yellow rare. 2k counter, and his trigger is up to one of your opponent's leaders cannot attack during this turn. So quite simple, but can be effective, plus the 2k counter. And then next up we have Sanji SR. I was so excited for this. Now I know he doesn't seem all that much. The art is kind of like low quality. It would definitely look better as a card. Just the Twitter pages always have low quality, but it's a very cool art. The parallel will go crazy. 4 cost, 5,000 power. He's a blocker, and his trigger is you may trash one card and play this card. Now, it seems basic. You might be like, oh, they gave Sanji an SR and it's not good. But like, I've been reading like every time a card comes out, I read like the discussion on it, how it fares. I think this card is very good. It could also be a must-have for like yellow decks like Yamato, because even though it is simple, this is a 4-cost blocker, and like it is quite useful to play in certain decks. So we'll definitely see more as like once all the cards are revealed and like the meta sort of settles. But I think it is potentially a very useful card, and I'll definitely be trying getting yellow to see how it fares. Then this was the card revealed today actually. Perisphero, yellow common, 6 cost, 8,000 power, and yeah, nothing special, but just a high cost, high power character. Next we have Trafalgar Law, a new black promo. There's been this promo and then another one shown. 4 cost, 5,000 power. Is Dressrosa type, which is good. Obviously it means that you can play him with Rebecca. And on play you may rest one of your leaders, KO up to one of your opponent's characters that cost 1 or less. I think obviously with Rebecca it works quite well. Rebecca herself cannot attack, so this means that like resting her would at least make her useful. And since so many cards reduce cost, KOing a character that costs 1 or less can be useful. So yeah, pretty useful. Could see play. We have Bellamy, yellow promo, 5 cost, 6,000 power, strike type. He has banish, and if you attach 2 Don to him, when you have 0 life, this character gains 2,000 power. So basically with 2 Don and 0 life, he will go to 10k. Is it the best card? No. Could it see play? Potentially. I think because it relies on you having 0 life, it is a risky one. It's basically a card that I would put as like 1 or 2 of, that if I get, then I would go for game, you know, like this is like if you play this card, you're trying to go for game on that turn. And then finally I want to talk about this as a teaser. So they released this image earlier today, and they just said, you know, 19th of May. It's got empty chair. You've got this transponder snail. I've looked through every single snail that I found in One Piece. I can't see any that fit. The only sort of like, these are the stuff that people are saying. I'll tell you whether like what I think. So people are saying that because of the chestnut, it's Noland, and it could be an OP05 reveal thing. Now the thing is, Nolan, like, I do agree that Chestnut and Nolan, like, it's a whole thing, but like with Nolan, like, I will show you here, oh yeah, before I wanted to show you that this is like an important promo as well, like they've been showing this everywhere. You can see like Nolan's is like this, and I know like it's not like an important detail, but his is always like this. And even like his descendant Cricket's is full colored, like it's not like this. So it could be like a nod towards Nolan, maybe OP05, which if you guys haven't seen, we made an OP05 I made an OP05 revealed video talking about like the OP05 information that was shown, that it's Skypiea, the Revolutionary Army. Please check it out. It'll be in like it should show up in recommended. If not, you guys can just check through the channel. But yeah, personally, looking at this, I think on this day is also the day that the full card list drops. So there's loads of theories. Nolan, OP05. Obviously, you got the blank throne. People have been saying that like blank chair is Im, which I think is crazy. Could be Crocodile, could be Mr. Prince. So we will see on the day. People, yeah, another thing people have said is that this could be like a new type of card, like you could play a transponder snail or something. Yeah, so lots of theories. No one has any like answers yet. Will be interesting to look forward to. And yeah, so check out our other videos and let me know what you guys think in the comments. Check out our socials, because I tweet about this stuff, and you can also talk to me directly about this stuff. You can even have a game with me if you'd like. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.